This is my TNA Sacrifice 2009 pay-per-view predictions. The pay-per-view airs tomorrow night live exclusively on pay-per-view. I gotta say, for a TNA pay-per-view, it doesn't look like this is going to be a great pay-per-view by any means, but it doesn't look like it's going to be a bad pay-per-view. It's pretty much be an average pay-per-view, kind of a little bit of a throwaway pay-per-view it seems like, but there's a couple things on this pay-per-view that might deliver and make this at least, a good overall average to good pay-per-view. The opening match will be the finals of the Team 3D Invitational Tournament. This is the finals of the Team 3D Invitational Tournament with Beer Money Incorporated versus the British Invasion. And this is not going to be anything of a good or great tag team match. It's going to be pretty much a solid, maybe good if possible, because Beer Money Incorporated, they do work very good together as a tag team. James Storm and Robert Roode are a very good tag team in TNA, and hopefully TNA doesn't break them up anytime soon, because that's the one thing the mainstream companies do really bad, is break up a tag team when they don't really need to. And James Storm and Robert Roode, they're much better as a tag team than they are as singles competitors. Whereas Robert Roode maybe could branch off as a single star. James Storm, on the other hand, I couldn't see James Storm going that far in singles rank at all. It'd be kind of like when the America's Most Wanted broke up, and he'll be like Braden Walker, Chris Harris, whichever name you want to refer to him as. He would be kind of like that, whereas Robert might be able to do something, but I don't think they would push him too far. So like I said, I see Beer Money Incorporated winning this match. It'd be the best thing to do. British Invasion, not a terrible tag team, but one half of it's pretty bad. Then the next match will be the first ever Women's Monster Ball match. This is a women's match I'm kind of looking forward to. This is Taylor Wilde versus Daphne. The one thing I like about this is they've been building up Daphne pretty good. I do like that they put Daphne and Abyss with each other. It's just obvious booking right there. You want to put those two type of characters with each other, and it makes pretty much sense right there. And Daphne, I've liked her for a long time, and hopefully they make her be used a little better than what they are kind of right now. Kind of slowly build her up for the Knockouts title, because I definitely think she's worthy of it. Maybe not holding the title, but at least contending for it. And I do see Daphne going over in this match and defeating Taylor Wilde. Probably be, a solid women's match. Nothing spectacular. Just kind of like the opener. Just probably a solid match. Then the next matchup will be the Main Event Mafia versus TNA Frontline. This is a showcase match between a member of the Main Event Mafia versus a member of the TNA Frontline. And this is Kevin Nash versus Samoa Joe. And this match, I would say no one's looking forward to this, but unfortunately I know one of my close friends is looking forward to this match. Probably looking forward to this match out of probably everything on this pay-per-view, which I do not understand. But for the most part, I know a lot of people probably aren't looking forward to this. I think it might be a watchable match at best. Their match they had, I think it was at the Turning Point pay-per-view back in the month of November of 2008. Wasn't a terrible match. It was just, something watchable. It kind of had like a Vince Russo-esque type ending with that match with Kevin Nash going over, and the way he went over kind of made Joe look very weak. In this match, I do see Samoa Joe going over here, so then it'll be one-to-one between these two. So obviously, they'll have probably a rubber match down the line. I don't think it'll be a Slammiversary, because I see Samoa Joe being in the King of the Mountain next month. Just makes the most sense for him being a part of the King of the Mountain, especially with them expanding the King of the Mountain instead of, I think, it used to be like 5 or 6. Now I think they're expanding it maybe to 8 competitors in the King of the Mountain. So see Samoa Joe going over in this match. Be at least, watchable. Won't be anything great. Then the next match would be the TNA Knockouts title match with Angelina Love versus Amazing Kong. And I'm kind of looking forward to this match. This match might be good. Obviously, they're going to book it in a way of Amazing Kong being dominant towards most of the match, with going pretty much, woman handling Angelina Love, and might be decent. Obviously, I see the Beautiful People playing some type of role in this match with helping Angelina Love retain the TNA Knockouts title. I don't see them giving the title back to Amazing Kong, because what's that really going to accomplish, giving the title back to her at this point? Even though she did have a decent reign with it, you kind of want to do something, at least a little something different with it right now. I think Angelina Love going over would be the best thing to do, and I do see Angelina Love retain the TNA Knockouts title, because I think they can do something very good here if you build up Daphne pretty good. You can have Daphne versus Angela Love for the TNA Knockouts title. Maybe next month they'll have, 2 back-to-back pay-per-views. Maybe do like a tag match with Daphne and someone teaming up, taking on the Beautiful People. Kind of have a little feud there for about 2-3 months. I think that could work out for the Knockouts division. And it will give you something a little different than just having, either Taylor Wilde or Amazing Kong always, in the TNA Knockouts title match at every single pay-per-view. Give you a little something different to see. Even though I like Amazing Kong, but her character's got pretty stale over the last probably 6 months. I would say pretty much maybe even longer than that. Probably ever since a little after her feud that she had with Gail Kim. Her character's grown, more stale as the months go on. But it'd be probably a solid women's match. Like I said, I see Angela Love winning in some type of manner with the Beautiful People coming out there and helping Angela Love retain the TNA Knockouts title. Then the next matchup will be the TNA X Division title match, and this will be Suicide versus Christopher Daniels. And if this match was Christopher Daniels versus the person that's under the Suicide gimmick, then it would be no question that this could be an incredible, awesome match, and probably the match of the night, probably the match that a lot of people will look forward to. If this was Christopher Daniels versus Kaz or Kazarian, it will be really good if it was like that. I still think it would be a solid X Division match, but it wouldn't be as good as what it would be if it was just Christopher Daniels versus Suicide. I see Christopher Daniels winning the X Division title here, and hopefully if he does win the X Division title, they give him a good solid reign with it. Because if Christopher Daniels wins the X Division title, that's going to be really something that could help the X Division out. I thought the whole Alex Shelley winning the title earlier this year, they were going to do something good with him holding the X Division title, but they really didn't do much with him holding that title, even though, he keep it maybe 2-3 months. They still didn't do much with it. So they need to have Daniels keep this maybe 5-6 months, rebuild the X Division with Daniels, and, Daniels and Shelley could have excellent matches. Daniels and Sabin could have excellent matches. Him and Lethal could do very good. And even him and Consequences Creed, even though I'm not really much of a fan of Consequences Creed, when Creed's in there with someone of a good talent, he could probably deliver a good match. He's done it before. Enjoyed his stuff with him and Jay Lethal working as a tag team. And him and Jay Lethal, I've seen them pull off, a couple good solid matches in the past between each other. So it's really depending on who Creed's in there with if he delivers a good match. But with the Suicide and Christopher Daniels match, like I said, I see Christopher Daniels going over, and hopefully they do have him win this X Division title and then kind of give a little credibility to the X Division, have him have 5-6 month reign with it, and slowly build him up to the main eventers, because I think Christopher Daniels definitely is worthy of being in the main eventers, main event picture for TNA. I think he has the in-ring skill, he has the mic. He's definitely good at promos. He's just a complete package, in my opinion. Definitely is probably one of the most underrated wrestlers out of probably any company, especially at his age right now. I mean, he should have been used by any company a whole lot better than what he's ever has been used. Then the next matchup will be the I Quit match with the Legends title on the line with Booker T versus AJ Styles. This match probably be the one match on this pay-per-view I could see being very good. Now, Booker T, the last several years of his career, and definitely in TNA as well, he's been kind of inconsistent, and I thought he would be doing a little better with his TNA run. I thought you might have seen him, kind of rejuvenate his career, but he's really pretty much nothing different than what he was in WWE, kind of like a very stale character and pretty much a shell of his former self. Now, AJ Styles is a great performer. These two with the I Quit stipulation, I can see this match being good. I see AJ Styles win this match and retain the Legends title. Then the main event is the Fatal 4-Way match for the TNA World Heavyweight title. The Ultimate Sacrifice match with Mick Foley versus Sting versus versus Kurt Angle versus Jeff Jarrett. And I definitely like to see, this main event, I don't think it's going to be anything excellent. I think it could be something, it could be a good, solid main event because we've seen, Kurt Angle and Jeff Jarrett work very good with each other. Jarrett and Sting's worked good with each other. For some reason or another, Sting and Angle can never really get together and work good together. And Mick Foley, just as long as he's not in this match too much and play a big part in it, even though I know he's the world champion, but out of the 4 people that's in this match, he's the one that needs to do the least in this match. So hopefully he does do that, or somehow shows up in this match and actually does something good, which kind of would shock me if we see. But with the Ultimate Sacrifice match, I kind of like, with the, Sacrifice pay-per-view here, you finally actually have some reasoning why this pay-per-view is called Sacrifice with the main event, with pretty much all 4 competitors sacrificing something to be in this match. With Mick Foley, he sacrificed, if he gets pinned, he loses the TNA World Heavyweight title. If Sting gets pinned, he has to retire and quit wrestling altogether, which obviously is the most unlikely scenario other than the Jeff Jarrett scenario, which if Jeff Jarrett gets pinned, he gives up his power in TNA, which obviously the Sting and Jarrett one will not happen. The Kurt Angle one might happen. So it's between Kurt Angle and Mick Foley getting pinned. If Kurt Angle gets pinned, he's out of the main event Mafia, which would be kind of a good thing to happen just in case, say, if he's not going to be re-signed with TNA by the time of September, it'd be a good time to kick him out of the main event Mafia now and kind of, have him branch off before he leaves or do something with him. I think that would be a good part to do. But for some reason in this match, I see Kurt Angle winning the TNA World Heavyweight title by pinning Mick Foley. Obviously, Mick Foley, the one with just losing the world title, is obviously the most simplest thing that's going to happen, since it really isn't going to change much with anything with storyline-wise if he gets pinned. Obviously, if Sting gets pinned, he'll be written off. If Jeff Jarrett wins, he loses control of TNA and his power on TNA, which could probably produce a good storyline, but I don't think they would do it. And Kurt Angle, even though it would make somewhat sense him being out of the main event Mafia, for some reason or another, I see him winning the TNA World Heavyweight title here. Just because mainly I see Mick Foley being definitely the one who's getting pinned within this match, no matter who wins this match. Mainly due to the fact that I can't see anyone else getting pinned. Maybe Angle, but I see Angle winning this match, and I see Foley losing this title just because even though at the Slammiversary pay-per-view, Mick Foley would obviously lose it in King of the Mountain. But I think it would be, good just to get the title off of him. I don't understand why TNA even wanted to put the title on him in the first place. So like I said, I see Kurt Angle winning the TNA World Heavyweight title. So in the I Quit match, I see AJ Styles retain the Legends title. With the X Division title match, I see Christopher Daniels winning the X Division title. With the TNA Knockouts title match, I see Angela Love retaining the title, which Shady means outside the ring due to the beautiful people. With the main event Mafia versus TNA Frontline match, I see Samoa Joe defeating Kevin Nash in that match. Then in the other women's match of the night with Daphne versus Taylor Wilde in the first ever women's knockout Monsters Ball match, I see Daphne winning that. It would make the most sense, obviously. And in the finals of the Team 3D Invitational match with Beer Money Incorporated versus the British Invasion, I see Team 3D, not Team 3D, but Beer Money Incorporated winning this match, going on to take on Team 3D at the next pay-per-view at Slammiversary, and regaining the TNA World Tag Team titles. And like I said, this pay-per-view doesn't look like it's going to be anything great. It was probably going to be at least an average pay-per-view, because there are a couple things of this pay-per-view that's going to at least make it an average pay-per-view, I feel. The main event might shock some people. I think, the main event, if you book it in the right way, could be very good, or it could just be a clusterfuck. So it's going to be either one. I don't think it's going to be one of those matches that's going to be in between. It could be very good, or it just could be a complete clusterfuck. Hopefully it's a good match. Hopefully this pay-per-view does, do something good for TNA. For the most part, it is kind of a throwaway pay-per-view, so I think most people aren't really expecting too much out of it, so that's going to kind of help the pay-per-view overall, since my expectations are pretty low for it, and I think a lot of other people's expectations are pretty low for it. Or probably a lot of people don't even remember TNA even has a pay-per-view tomorrow night for the most part. And yeah, that's it for my TNA Sacrifice 2009 pay-per-view predictions. Peace.